Warzone has just released, and players everywhere are trying to figure the game out. They're trying to get an early head start when learning what this game has to offer. We've got loads of different weapons, gadgets, equipment, drop locations, loadout drops, killstreaks, the gulag. There's so much going on in Warzone. So in this video today, I'm going to try and bring together a bunch of tips and tricks that have helped me have better rounds so far, have helped me be more confident in gunfights, and get more kills. First up, dropping into the map and getting to the ground as fast as possible. Warzone gives you almost complete control over your drop speed and the direction of your drop. So if you want to get to the ground as soon as possible, just look straight down and hold the forward button and your character will just plunge to the earth. There is an auto shoot deploy system in the game, so you'll want to deploy that quickly before you start your drop so that that cancels the effect as you get closer to the ground, but then don't forget to manually pull your parachute again or you will just faceplant right into the concrete. If you're looking for a longer, flatter drop to maybe a bit of land that's further away from the flight path, then going into a dive, then pulling your chute, leveling out a bit, and then cutting the line, that will give you a big horizontal boost across the map, allowing you to travel a bit further at higher speeds. Again though, just remember, you have to pull your parachute manually when you want to land. Oh, and you can use your parachute when jumping off of high ledges. Warzone allows you to use that as many times as you like, so that's just a massive movement boost for you and your teammates. Then we have the health system. Warzone uses an automatic regen system for health that's very different from other battle royales, and it's going to heal you back up when you're not in danger if you've taken damage. Now, so far, I've found that this vastly increases the pace of combat in the game because players aren't having to go and find cover so that they can apply bandages and go through lengthy healing animations. There's none of that in Warzone, so the whole thing just feels a little bit faster. On top of that, you also have an armor system in the game. You can apply 3 armor plates to your character at any one time, and then they protect your whole body. Each armor plate accounts for an extra 50 health points. That means a fully healed and armored character will be running around with 250 health. Armor plates are fairly common loot items that you can find around the world as well, and you can carry an extra 5 on you at any one time. So that means the health and ammo systems, they're not really defining the type of combat that you can engage in as much as other battle royales. Warzone is kind of encouraging you to be a bit more forward, a bit more aggressive. It's pushing you into gunfights and getting you into the combat, and then the health and armor system, they kind of take a little bit more of a backseat, I'd say. In addition to armor and health, let's talk about reviving and respawning. Warzone's emphasis on death is much less than other battle royales because there's so many different ways that you can stop yourself from properly dying. And that makes the experience less punishing, and I feel it's more about just having a good time with your teammates for a lot longer. If you're downed by an enemy player, a teammate can quickly get you back up on your feet by reviving you, faster than most other battle royale games that I've played. If you are fully killed, and it's the first time you're killed in that round, then you'll be sent to the gulag for a 1v1 face-off against another enemy who's been killed. If you win this 1v1, you're then respawned above the map, paradropping down for a second chance, but you've lost all of your gear, and you go back to the starter gear, which is a pistol and a few spare magazines. Now, the gulag is active until the 5th circle, and after that it is permanently closed. If you lose in the gulag, then you are sent to the spectator mode, where you can watch your teammates play. However, there is still more that can be done after that point. If you're killed off, and you can't go into the gulag because you've already been in there, your teammates can buy you back into the round by using the buy stations and cash that they've collected on the map. If you buy a player back, it costs $4,500, which sounds like a lot, but really isn't that much. When you're bought back, again, you paradrop onto the map with starter gear. There is also a self-revive kit that you can purchase, and you can have that on you in case you're downed. Next up, looting in Warzone. In my experience so far, there aren't any areas of the map that you need to go to get high tier loot. It does seem to be completely random. Loot boxes are scattered all around the map and they come in different rarities, so when you approach those loot boxes you can be confident of what level of items you're likely to be getting from them. Blue and green boxes, they will give you fairly decent weapons with a couple of different attachments that you can work with, along with consumables like grenades, C4, and ammunition for those weapons. But there are higher tier crates like purple and gold ones that will give you much better weapons. By opening up different coloured crates, you still don't know if you're going to get a shotgun as the weapon or an assault rifle, but at least you know a box is worth opening or not based on the gear that you already have in your loadout. If you've already got legendary weapons and you're opening a green box, then maybe you're just looking for ammunition. And of course there is loot on the ground that spawns as well, although it seems to be of the lowest tier. Now, since I mentioned them a little bit earlier on, let's talk about buy stations. These are a sort of lifeline support system built into Warzone, and they allow you and your teammates to buy access to items that could help improve your round. The buy stations are marked on the map with a shopping cart icon, and they are green boxes that you can walk up to, interact with, to launch a menu. In the menu, you're going to find various items like Killstreaks, consumables like armor plate bundles, gas masks in case you find yourself in the gas, munition boxes, and even more. To buy the items in the buy stations, you need to collect cash from around the map, and this can be found as floor loot in different buildings, or by opening up loot boxes around the map. Enemy players will also carry cash that they've collected, and if you kill them, they'll drop that cash so you can pick up theirs, and that will probably massively increase the amount that you have on your character. The buy stations are also the place that you need to go to if you want to buy back one of your teammates who's been permanently killed. So like I said, these things are a lifeline and they can be extremely useful. So if you've got some cash and there's something you need, you should go and buy it as quick as you can. Next up, something that is linked to the buy stations, Loadout Drops. It's really important to build a couple of custom classes specifically for Warzone within Modern Warfare. The reason for doing this is the loadout drop that you can buy via the buy stations. These loadout drops allow you and your squad to pick any of the custom classes in your loadout menu and spawn them into a game of Warzone. There are a few different default options that the game has created for you, but if you flick over to the custom selection, you'll see all of your custom classes there, and if you've made one specifically for Battle Royale, taking into account all the different elements of Warzone, you can then pick that one if that's the one you want to take. The major advantage of choosing something from the loadout drop is it's one of the very few ways to get perks in Warzone. So for example, if your custom loadout has the tracker perk on it, that's going to show enemy footsteps on the map if you're close to their location, and that could be extremely useful in Warzone. The chances of you coming across enemy players is pretty high anyway, so being able to give your teammates a heads up that there is someone around, that's really valuable. The loadout drops will also be giving you access to all of your weapons and progression on those weapons from Modern Warfare. So if you've got a fully kitted M4 that you want to use in Warzone, put that in a custom class and you'll be able to pick that from the loadout drop if you call one in. Now let's go over weapons and gunplay. Warzone uses the same gunplay system as Modern Warfare, so if you've been playing that game already, then you're going to feel right at home here. With the added armor system in Warzone taking health values up to a potential of 250, it is going to take a little bit more time to kill players. That will have increased somewhat, but with the gunplay already being so lethal in Modern Warfare, especially up close, you're still going to find it takes relatively little time to take an enemy player down. At longer ranges, things do get a little bit more drawn out, but then you really should be taking advantage of the sniper and marksman rifles in Warzone, and I believe that some of the sniper rifles do one-hit kill players if you can hit them in the head, so that's something you should be trying to do. Or you can mount machine guns on cover, and you can deliver some consistent damage over range. And then perks like stopping power, they can be found in loot boxes around the map. That can be really helpful in gunfights as they increase the damage that you do whilst they're active. So the gunplay is very similar to Modern Warfare, but the health system will draw things out just slightly. Now, I mentioned Killstreaks when talking about the buy stations. You should absolutely be buying Killstreaks in Warzone right now because of how powerful they can be. The precision airstrike, that can knock out full enemy squads if they're camping a building, and that's much more effective than you running in and taking damage or even potentially dying to those players inside. The UAV, that can be launched to scan an area and mark enemy locations on the minimap, and that gives you a much clearer picture of the world around you. Personally, I think the ease of getting enough cash to buy these Killstreaks, that needs changing. They need to be more expensive. Right now, they are so powerful and so easy to obtain that in the last few circles, it can get a little bit messy. But right now, since we're only a couple of days into Warzone, you might as well use them because everyone else is. And lastly, probably my biggest tip here, just get stuck into the action. After Infinity Ward solved the lobby issues yesterday, I found it's now much faster to get into new rounds of Warzone after you die, so don't be afraid to use these early days of the game whilst everyone is new to all of the things. Just go in there, explore, lock in some landing zones that you like, and just get into some gunfights. Getting stuck into gunfights is where all the good loot is. Most likely the person shooting at you has a good weapon, or they wouldn't be so confident as to try and shoot you. So start shooting back and try and win the gunfight. The more gunfights you enter, the higher the chances you have of landing some decent loot and enjoying more of your matches. So there you go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you learned something with these tips and tricks and that they help you on your way to your first victory in Warzone. Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, a dislike if you didn't, leave a comment as well, that's always appreciated, and maybe share this video with your friends if you're all gonna jump in soon. That'd be cool. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one.